If you use this pullback strategy, then you are guaranteed to make profits in the market. So which pullback strategy am I talking about? Let me just show you, right? Because this is actually one of the best strategies. That it doesn't matter which strategy that you're using to trade volatility indices, but this strategy will surely help you, right? So let's take this example. We're in an uptrend over here, right? So we are going what? We are going up, right? So let me change this color, right? So we are going up, right? So we've got what? Our rally, or whatever, or like to call it an impulsive move or rally. It all just depends on you, right? After we have our rally, right? So what, for us to get an entry, right? So pullbacks are very important, because we only enter when there is a pullback in the market. That way we will be guaranteed that we will get safer entries, right? Unlike that don't pull back, right? So unlike being hit by a pullback when you just jump in the trade without waiting for a pullback, right? So the pullback that we want to see is a pullback that's so like any consolidating main, right? So you see it, right? So it's something like this, right? The variations all differ, right? So this is for what? For a flag, it's something like this, right? Or it can be something like what? Like let me just change this color again, right? So we've got this rally up, right? Then for the pullback, it can form also a triangle, right? It's so like narrowing down into what? Into a smaller. It's getting what? The triangle is getting a little smaller as we go. So these types of pullbacks, right? What we just want to see right over here is a pullback that's in a consolidating manner, right? You can even have a pullback that's going something like what? Red candle, then we've got what? A green candle, red candle, right? We just want to see that there's a slowdown momentum, unlike just a fast pullback, right? We don't want to see pullbacks that just go. We are saying what we are going up, right? We don't want to see pullbacks that go just bam, right? We want to see it in a consolidating manner, or it's completely just changing between red and green candlesticks, right? So what usually happens after these pullbacks, right, is that after if you draw a trend line or something like that, the market will just what continue to shoot up, right? Same way as here, right? Especially for the triangles, right? If you see the triangle is narrowing, all right, it's narrowing over here, right? So over here the triangle is, the market is going to run out of place to where to go, right? Because the triangle has now become what? Has now become too small. So it either has to pull back, it either has to break to going down, or going what? Continue going up, right? So this type of pullback over here is what we call flex, right? Then this is just the symmetrical or descending or ascending triangles. They just differ, but the concept is just the same. I don't want to make this too difficult for you to understand. I just want you to get the basic idea behind everything that I'm saying, right? So these are the pullbacks that we want to look for, right? So over here, right? So let's see, right? We've got an example over here, right? So the market is what is in an uptrend, right? To creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and higher highs and higher lows, right? So right over here, maybe for entries we're using what? Zone flips. And if you haven't watched zone flips, I suggest that you watch that video next, right? Because they are also a setup that works very, very well, right? So over here, we've got this over here, right? And then this pullback over here, as you can see, this is the pullback that we want to see, a pullback that's in a what? In a consolidating manner. The consolidating manner just means that the market doesn't have enough momentum to keep on what? To keep on pushing down. It doesn't. If it had momentum, it just break fast, right? And as you can see, right after that breakout, right, after the breakout of the trend line, the market just shot up straight, right? So we want to be in this kind of moves, right? So right over here, if you see this type of pullback and they've got an area of interest next area in the next close to that, you know that that area is most likely to be respected, right? So if you know this setup, let me just look for a setup that doesn't have what these types of pullback, right? So right over here, right, you can say that we were going down, right? Over here, right, we're going up for a little while, then right over here we broke structure to the downside, we broke structure to the downside, and when it comes to the pullback, right, so we right over here we're creating what? Lower lows, right? Then for the pullback, right, maybe it marked what? This order block over here, right? Whenever you see that the market is pulling back in this fast manner, just know that that area is not going to be respected. Most of the times, or should I say 99% of the times, it's not going to be respected, right? Though it works sometimes, even most times it even works, but it's not guaranteed, right? It's better to wait for a market that's pulling back in a consolidating manner, right? So if I'm to take this for example, right, we've got an entry over here and an entry over there. If you are using what? Maybe you are using the Fibonacci, right? So right over here we've got a breaking market structure, so it's a little bit slight, right? over here. We're using the Fibonacci, and also have what if you, all right, let me just finish this, then I jump, right? So over here, this pullback is just flat, right? It's straight. I wouldn't enter here, though the setup did work, right? It even hit our symmetrical TP, right? But I wouldn't enter here. Rather, I would have entered this pullback, right, which is next to it, because it's continuously giving me red and green candles mixed, showing me that there's a slowdown in what, a slowdown in momentum, and as you can see, it went even further down, right? So this move over here is the best pullback that I would, this type of pullback that I'm looking for, right? So these types of pullbacks, you just have to know that they are respected most of the times by the market, and you know that your points of interest are most likely going to be respected, rather than just waiting for what, for flat pullbacks just like that, right? So over here we're going what, we're in uptrend, right? We're continuously creating what, breaking structure, going higher low, higher low, then higher high, right? So over here, obviously we marked this area over here is our what, is our entry point, right? As you can see, the market just what, shot down, right? It didn't give you a chance to enter, right? So we don't want those types of setups, right? So you can use this even for your boom and crash, right? So let's just shift down to the boom and crash, right? So for the boom and crash, now we are using, let's just use the moving average that's already there for our entries. Let's shift to the 15-minute time frame, so that maybe this becomes a little bit easier to look for examples, right? So these types of pullbacks, as you can see right over here, we had marked this order block over here, or where there's also our 50 moving average, right? So as you can see, the market was pulling backward fast, right? There's no, it's not alternating green and red candles, right? It just broke past that and hitting our stop loss. Obviously our stop loss might have been somewhere over here, right? So if you know that, if, and right over here, right, if you had marked this area again, right, though the market didn't reach, it only reached this zone flip over here, right? Right over here, you can see that the market was targeting this area of interest, to respect this area of interest, because that's when it started what, it started consolidating. So if you see that the market is not showing slowdown in momentum, that you know that you better mark the next area of interest, because that one is not, it's likely not going to be respected, right? So that's just what you have to do when you are using this strategy, right? So over here again, this is the type of pullback that we want to see on boom and crash, right? So it's just the same thing with what, with the volatility indices, right? The pullback tested our 50 moving average, proper candlestick formation, confirmation, right? And we are good to go down, right? Then this one, I don't like it because it's just straight. The chances of this breaking past here are quite high, right? So that's why I wouldn't encourage you to enter over there.